G. We are live. Welcome everyone. After a long time, IPL has gone. World Test Championship final has gone now. We are back for an exciting Test series here. A five-match Test series, beginning of a new cycle as well. World Test Championship. It's India versus England Test series, and joining with me is a very special guest, our very own Bharat Ramraj sir. Uh, very thankful to him for joining at such a short notice. Welcome, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. You are the man. You are the Superman. Superman plus Batman plus whatever man. Nowadays, I don't know about all the characters going around. You're dead.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good time to be a cricket fan. South Africa has won, RCB has
Yes, yes,
won,
yes.
but time ahead for Indian cricket is not that easy. I guess it's a very complicated period, a transition period to be precise. So let's Bharat sir. Let's straight get to the point. Is India ready for post Kohli era in Test because the man has retired? Absolute talisman of this format. What are your thoughts? Mean okay, he retired. Now what for India ahead?
Yes, see, there will be some struggles. You can't expect the Indian teams to straight away go and win some test series abroad or maybe even at home go and whitewash two, three sides. So there will be struggles in the next couple of years. You know that batting lineup is quite inexperienced. Maybe I'm not very sure in the Ranji Trophy as well. If you look at how some of the domestic players play, they seem to base their games more on power game. Maybe they're also kind of inclined towards T20 cricket. That is kind of expected because we live in such times that you can't ignore T20 cricket. So there could be some problems in the batting lineup. Yes, the pace bowling, there is Jasprit Bumrah. I don't have to say more about him. Is the ace in the pack. But Mohammad Siraj, he has been kind of, what can you say, in Test cricket, jack of all trades or many trades, master of not exactly many. So that's what I would say call him as. So he can fluctuate, his performances can fluctuate, and is now going to be the new ball bowler, likely the new ball bowler with Bumrah. So the onus will be on him, and then obviously it could be Arshdeep or Prasid or whoever it is. So there is an inexperience in that bowling lineup as well. So they will lose some test matches. Definitely, I don't know whether it is going to be 4-0, 5-0, even
Yeah.
if India are going to win two test matches in England. I'm not very sure, but there will be losses in England. There could be a couple of losses at home as well. I'm not saying test they would lose a test series or something on those lines, but at least a couple of test matches expect them to lose. So it's a hard road to hit, but that is when you will find some new stars. So hopefully someone will come up. Maybe it is Du Jurel who will go and score a lot of runs, or it could be again Nitesh Reddy surprising people with runs under his belt, or maybe Prasid Krishna taking some wickets, or Arshdeep Singh, or Shubman Gill silencing his critics. Who knows? There will be surprises on the way, positive signs as well. But I think the next couple of years, India would have some. What can you say? India would have some difficulties to navigate in Test cricket.
Yes. Okay. Yes, it's a exciting time as well with that because we will see new faces coming through, as Sir has said. Okay, but if you look at the squad here, I have the squad here. Pretty much, I think on the lines, according to you, overall, you are not expecting anything less or more. Maybe Anshu's coach not being there is a anticlimax of a thing after what he did in India A. We will go in detail. But first, let's go batting lineup, sir. Uh,
Yes.
India's top order overseas. Actually, every side's top order always struggle when playing away from home. But particularly for this series, What are your expectations from the top three? And maybe you can name also who are your best top three ahead, and what are your expectations from those names?
Well, that's a little bit dicey to say who is number three. You know who will be the top two, KL Rahul and Jaiswal. Number three is a little bit dicey. I think Sai Sudarshan is ready, but again we have to consider that he's inexperienced as well. So he might fail in the first three tests. So if he gets picked, that is, or Karan or whoever it is, although my pick would be Sai Sudarshan, but he could fail in the first three tests even if he is picked. So one has to be a little bit patient with all these guys. So there will be failures, but I think he has a temperament. I watched his battles against Prasidh Krishna last year in a Dulip Trophy game. The bowler gave him a working over, a short ball. He survived all that and got that 100. Yes, he could have a problem or two. He might not be the best when it comes to playing the cut stroke against a delivery that bounces a little more. He might have got out a couple of times LBW to Shardul Thakur in the Ranji Trophy. So all these things have happened against him, but he showed some class against Australia A as well when there was movement. Scored 103 or on those lines in the second inning. So I think he has a temperament. I would pick him, but again, I would throw in a word of caution. Don't expect Sai Sudarshan to go and score 100 on his test debut. Don't expect that. Yes, it can happen occasionally. So you could also fail in a couple of test matches. Just have patience with some of these youngsters. And KL Rahul, see, I'll go back to same. He's technically perhaps the soundest batter opener going around in Test cricket at present. But sometimes maybe he doesn't play with the kind of freedom that he should. Thinks maybe too much about his technique, what he should do, play inside the line, or on those or those kind of things. And what happens with bowlers is pace bowlers is they will bowl more and more on the stump line. They will go slightly wider of the crease and try to angle it in and clean him up by taking out the off stump or just outside of getting him to nick. So that could happen against KL Rahul. So I think it's better he plays with little more freedom because after a couple of test matches, that is what has usually happened with KL Rahul or every single test series abroad. He plays well in a couple of first couple of tests, and the bowlers kind of they tweak their lines, bowl it closer to off, and get him out. So that's the one thing that could go against him. And for Jaiswal, I think someone like Chris Wokes would go away, and if he's getting beaten on the outside edge, he will try to bring one backfoot player, and get him out LBW like he did in that Lions game. So these are some of the threats, but Jaiswal again has a good temperament. So somewhere, at least after the couple of test matches, you expect him to fire somewhere down the line.
Absolutely. And Sai Sudarshan, as you said, that one innings I remember watching it live, the final day of Dulip Trophy last year, Anantapura. I think that innings
That only I
stood.
said. He had that battle against Prasidh Krishna, scored 100. Finally got out a short ball, but until then he played really well.
Yeah, it was quite a mean so one way traffic for the opposition, but he stood tall from one end, in my opinion,
Yes.
and that I think set him apart from the rest to play that role. One of the comments here says Rishabh that Karun should be number three. Yes, he is also an option, but we'll come there later on. If we see Bharat sir, there uh, the the numbers of Sai Sudarshan also there's a chaos in the Twitter that his SC average is below 40. I think below 40. Yes, the people talk about that, but I think we can shed light on that. That he has played a lot of county cricket. He has played for India A significantly and in Tulip Trophy as well. So that's a big challenge for a newbie like Sai Sudarshan. He has been in the scheme of things from 2022.
See, I know that he averages less than 40, but to counter that, look at the quality knocks he's played. He went to
Exactly.
Australia when others were struggling in that India A setup. A lot of others, he went and scored 103. The ball was moving around. Australia's attack was decent enough, and they were getting the ball to move. And especially that 100 that I mentioned, that Dulip Trophy game, these are the kind of knocks that is played. So, it's shown that he's the potential. And also remember, so a lot of his games have come in county cricket. It's not like he's got the chance to play on some patta wicket in Indian domestic. So he has played on some grassy decks, even in Anpur. It's not like his first class career is a very long one where he's got the chance to play on a lot of pata decks. You know that in Ranji Trophy as well, these days you get some green decks that stay low, so it's not easy. See, Karan Iyer also is good. He's a good shot maker, but if I look at his batting, I feel that he's more of a number five batter. But again, they might go and play number three, score 100 because he's a fine shot maker and he plays late. That's one thing that I've noted, that he tries to play late, maybe because he's played so much of county cricket. But he does have a problem, like just like Shubman Gill with a nip packer, because he doesn't always
Yes.
load, press, and release. So his front foot stride is a little short. So that is why he has had problems. But in that Lions match, it seemed like he had tried to work hard on his problem, and that could help him. But I still look at him as more of a number five batter. But yes, he plays at number three, fair enough.
Yeah. So, sir, that's for the top three. But let's move on from that. Shuman Gill, no doubt that he will be batting at number four. He will be taking that place. He'll be the successor of Virat Kohli in that batting lineup for sure, if I'm not wrong. But uh, an average of 14, okay, only 3 games till now. How do you see? Is he the right man to do the job, even captaincy wise? And also in comments, they are asking that any chance for Gill to have success if he doesn't make any adjustment. You can shed light on overall thing, not only this.
See, two
What are your
points look
views?
at with Gill. I think it was more of a default choice when it came to captaincy. I'm not saying he's a bad captain, because he's shown that even when Rohit Sharma was the skipper, I've seen Gill going towards young bowlers like Harshit Rana, Prasid, talking with them. That tells you that he's someone who's involved in decisions. He also showed that during Gujarat Titans, as a leader of Gujarat Titans, I know that Ashish Nehra played a large part, but still he was talking to the bowlers, trying to comfort them when they were hit for sixes and fours. So that shows he's not a bad leader, but still, I would always say that the captain should first be picked for his first should be picked in the side, and then you have to make a captain out of the 11 players who have been picked. So maybe Gill has, yes, he has had problems in Sena Nations. You know that, barring that one very good knock at the Gaba. I don't have to say much about what are his problems. Repeated it many times. Bat lift is maybe high somewhat. Second is, again, he also, just like Karun Iyer, doesn't really load, press, and release his back foot, back heel. So that is why sometimes his front foot stride is struck and a little less. So that is how he leaves that gap between bat and pad. So it is for him to correct those two mistakes. Actually, he's tried to correct those flaws somewhere in 2024. But we live in an era of T20 cricket. Maybe that hasn't helped him. As soon as he plays T20 cricket, it is like you have to play in a different way, different fashion. Maybe you have to uh, play across the front pad, or maybe clear the front leg and try to whack it across the line. So all these things come into the equation. So if you ask me, I think he would have some problems against Chris Fox, even the other two seamers. Cars, Tong are mainly front-on bowlers. Chris Fox is Wobble seam, and these two are front-on bowlers. When they're front-on bowlers, mostly the ball will nip back into the right-hander. But if he does the couple of things that I've said, I at least expect him to average around 35, 40. If that would be decent enough, he averages around 40 in England, because it's an inexperienced lineup. Remember that England's pace attack also is inexperienced. If Shubman Gill gets going, gets to 30, 40, who knows, he might go and score some runs. So the same thing with captaincy. For me, I would first pick my 11, and then I would pick the captain there. That is where I have a little bit of doubt over Shuman Gill. Nothing against him, mainly because he's not got the runs that he should have in Sena Nations.
Okay. Yeah, there's that is the way to go forward. I think yes, there needs to be some kind of adjustment, as sir has said that hopefully we will see a new Shumanil, because back in 2014, Virat Kohli was also averaging around 13. and then he came
No, you
back
can
in
change. You can
2018.
change. See, Shubman
Yeah,
Gill is young. So he has a lot of time on his hands. I'm not ruling out him. As I noted, he could average even 40 if he gets a couple of things that I've said. If he rectifies it, he can average even 40 in this particular series. But it is important for him to score some runs because as a leader, if you really want lead from the front, then you have to get runs. Even Pataudi, who had problems with his eye, he also said that though obviously that became a problematic thing for him, lack of vision, but he still once said that you have to lead from the front with runs or wickets on the board as a captain.
yeah. But later on, going to see the further part of the batting order, if you see, Rishabh Pant is no doubt that number five. He will get that number five. He's untouchable at this moment, even though
Maybe
he
you can
has a
play at number
yeah.
six. Yes, there is also a case for Rishabh Pant batting at number six because
Okay.
he could come against a slightly older ball. Maybe India could be 3 for 40 on a grassy deck if it turns out to be a grassy deck at Leeds. So who knows? There is a case for him at six, but I think India will play him at five only, as Rishabh Pant himself said in the press conference.
One question I have, I didn't note it down here, but it's coming into my mind at this moment. That is there anything which is bothering him outside of stump, as we saw in the Australian tour? Because we have never saw Rishabh Pant getting out so in such a similar ways so many times in his throughout his career. It's been like 6 7 years now in his test career. He has been absolutely fabulous, especially away from home as well for India. Is there anything bothering him in that corner like Virat Kohli it is?
See, I think New Zealand somewhere once or twice did it long back. I don't exactly remember the year, but yes, Australia really got it right with Rishabh Pant. I think they had an in and out field. That's a better way to go against Rishabh Pant, the batsman. In and out field. So you can always have a couple of fielders somewhere on the boundary. It could be even something like fine leg. He might try to play a scoop shot and get out there. And as far as outside off is concerned, I think he's more of a leg side player. I'm not saying he doesn't have any shots to the offside. He's more of a leg side player, more of a bottom end kind of player. So you expect him to play a lot through the onside. So if you really want to get it right with him, over the wicket, slightly maybe wider of the crease, good length and angling away, seaming away. That is where he might just get his bat well in front of the pad and get caught behind. I think that is what Pat Cummins in particular did that. So yes, Rishabh Pant would also know about it. He was trying to actually in one innings. He was trying to play in one of the innings, trying to play with his bat and pad very close together. Still, Pat Cummins changed his line, went slightly wider of the crease, and still got him nicking behind. Those kind of deliveries you can't do much, but I think that's the plan against Rishabh Pant. Even when a spinner is bowling, have an in and out field, and look for a dismissal or two on the boundary.
Yeah. So, Bharat sir, England has announced their playing 11. So, I will get back to you that what do you see the ways? See, if we are talking about the batting lineup at this moment, so let's get to that term, the terminology baz ball, which is around for a while now, for 3 4 years now, but it hasn't been able to put England in the final in this Test Championship. So, is it gonna be the way going forward? Is it going to continue, or another question I have from you that what different India can do from that 2022 Edgbaston Test, which actually made them draw the series. What was missing in that series in that final match, and what different can they do stop that bad ball thing? The likes of Ben Duckett, Jack Crawley, Joe Root, everyone.
See, if you look at England's batting lineup, that's perhaps the best way they can go. If they try to play with good technique and all, I fear instead of being ranked second, that they are currently in ICC Test rankings, they could be ranked five or six because I don't think it suits the kind of players that they have. Even if I look at the county cricket, it's not like I'm seeing some Jeffrey Boycott out there who can come and play for long. So maybe it suits them the best. So that they will continue to play that way. So how to tackle it? I think it's mainly about not losing the plot in the sense that I know you will tell it's a glitch term, but what happens is sometimes suddenly the opponent will be 80 for one after maybe they could be at some point of time in the series after 12 13 overs, and the bowlers I have seen bowlers getting pace bowlers getting rattled at least in England, and suddenly it will be like 160 for 2 in 25 overs, and from there on there's no way back. So I think it's about getting not getting rattled, always believing that as the batters are going for their shots, you will also get chances. You might get a couple of chances in the slip cordon. It happened in the Oval Test against Sri Lanka last year, uh, when uh, when Sri Lanka defeated England. They got a lot of wickets with England trying to hit out. So I think that's the best way to look at it. Bowlers shouldn't get rattled. They always should believe that if the opponent is taking a chance, then I also have a chance of getting a wicket. So I think that's the best way to look at it. So it comes down to whether the inexperienced bowlers in the lineup, and I talked about Mohammad Siraj under pressure in the recent past, even in Australia, when Travis said or someone else has put him under pressure, he has gone for a lot of runs. Don't get rattled because that is what they're going to do. So you just stick to your plans and have fielders in catching positions, because definitely they will give a chance or two if they're going to take so many chances.
Yes, this is the playing 11, sir. Jack Crawley, Ben Duckett, no quite surprising there. Ollie Pope is not in play, I think. He's the vice captain. So people were saying that Jacob Bethel is not there. I think Ollie Pope is the vice captain. So
They
that
won't
is.
drop. They won't drop Ole Pop until 2265. I think in his next life or in his next life also he'll be playing for India. He'll get 100 somewhere. Then 10 innings he will fail. Then he will get
Yeah,
100 somewhere.
I
And
think,
he'll get
I
10
think, I think in Oval he will get that 100. So there's Joe Root as well, Harry Brook. Oh, that test average. Let's see what he can do this time. Ben Stokes, Jamie Smith, Chris Wokes. Chris Wokes is there. Shoaib Bashir, the spinner, Ryan Carson, Josh Tongue. So an Anderson less test 11 or England pace bowling attack for the first time in decades against India against India. So you are a huge admirer of Sir Anderson. How do you see that bowling attack, sir? An Anderson less attack of England. Is it good enough to stop this young Indian team?
Yeah, there are two ways to look at it. See, Jimmy Anderson has definitely been troubling India in England and to an extent in India as well since 2007. And it is not a coincidence that India have not won a Test series since 2007 with this guy around in England. I'm talking about a Test series win in England. To some extent, they negated his threat right in 2021. Yes, he took a five-for at Lords, but still, those wickets came later on in the innings, and yes, he came back and took another five-for in the next year at Edgbaston. But a couple of tests that they negated, India won those two tests at Lords and Oval. So somewhere India learned how to play him, how to play the wobble. Obviously, Chris Wokes is a good replacement for him for English conditions. I'm not saying away from home. He averages about 22. If there is one aspect of bowling where Chris Wokes is even better than Jimmy Anderson, then it is that wobble ball. And wobble ball has troubled the Indian team a lot. It's troubled other teams as well. I understand that, but it's also troubled the Indian team a lot. So they have to look out for Chris Wokes that he used that wobble ball even in that Lions game. So he could be a good replacement for him, but still, somewhere Anderson has had that kind of what can I say, has had a little hint of psychological edge, at least in English conditions against the Indian team. So the Indian camp, although some of them have retired, will be feeling slightly better. Someone like Shubman Gill, although he might have a problem or two against a nip packer of Vokes, has got out some 6 or 7 times against Jimmy Anderson. So 5 6 times or something on this line. So guys like him might be feeling slightly better, but still, I think Chris Wokes is a good replacement for him. And then I think I don't know what level of fitness Bryden Cars is in currently, but if he's going to bowl like he did against New Zealand in New Zealand and against Pakistan, then I think he's going to be a handful. Is very relentless, bowls long spells, hits the pitch hard. But against West Indies, his pace was around in the limited overs matches. His pace was around 84 miles per hour, 85, and the same guy was touching 90 miles per hour against New Zealand. I don't know whether he's reserving his energy for this Test series only. But if he's going to bowl like he did in New Zealand, he can trouble India. Tong is very unpredictable bowler. He has some promise there because of his action. It's a very unique kind of awkward action. Both of his arms go up at some point of time, and his head falls away. So if you're looking at him bowl, you feel that everything is going to come into the right-hander, but the odd one will straighten. Like, he has some pace, he has some bounce, but to negate that, he's the kind of bowler when he's going for runs, he bowls a lot of floaty stuff. He could end up with 12 overs for 80 runs on that particular day. Then it is going to be headache for Ben Stokes. But on a good day, he has some promise. So he's an inexperienced attack, and as you know, Shoaib Bashir is usually bowls a long hop or two here or there. So I think the key for the Indian team is if they can somehow negate the early threat, if there's a grassy pitch in somewhere in Leeds, if they can get to 100 for 3 or 2, at best 100 for 2, then there might be some panic in that England lineup without especially James Anderson, because Stuart Broad was not exactly great against the Indian team even at home. So without him, there could be some panic in that England attack, that suddenly on a grassy pitch, India 100 for 2. So if they can somehow negate the early threat, I think India can take advantage of that inexperience in the lineup and the unpredictability factor of someone like Josh Tong, because on a bad day, he goes for a lot of runs.
Yeah, another name. It's in their squad. He's not playing in their 11. Another very exciting name, the XX Men. That is Sam Cook. What are your views on him? Because I personally like him very much.
See, he's an English kind of bowler, typical quintessential English kind of seamer. He will pitch it up 125 kilometers per hour, but he's good wobble ball. So on a grassy pitch, if you pick him, he might prove to be useful. But they have not gone for him in the Leeds Test. If he was going to play, then it was going to be on a grassy pitch, because then his kiss the surface wobble seam bowling might have been a handful, because he bowls a lot of wobble deliveries.
I think it's very much similar to our Karnataka's Vasuki Kaushik, Sam Cook, if
Yes,
or
maybe.
or
Yes.
yeah,
Maybe
but
Kaushik gets a little more bounce because of his height, although he doesn't
yeah,
really use his height.
I
He
get
doesn't
you.
really use his height, but still, he's quite tall. I have seen him, and he gets a little bit of bounce.
Yeah. Sam Cook, I think he will also get a chance in this series because it's a five-match test series and fast bowlers. Uh, it's very highly unlikely that the same attack plays. There's no Mark Wood in those scheme. I don't know
He's
what is
injured.
happening with
He's
him.
injured. He has a long-term elbow problem, the knee problem, knee injury he had. But I don't think they will miss Mark Wood in England. They are keeping him for the Ashes, I think, in Australia, because in England he averages about 33 with the ball. Almost all his best performances have come in the West Indies, Australia, and South Africa.
So, as we are back to the bowling, let's go to the Indian lineup now again. This a very exciting name in the bowling lineup. Okay, I will come back to Prasid Krishna, but the left arm pacer, Bharat sir. After a long time, I don't remember. I think it was Zahir Khan only, the last man who was a significant name as a left arm
Yes.
pacer in our test team. So Arshdeep Singh, how much excited are you for Arshdeep Singh?
See, there are two ways to look at it. Harshdeep Singh really is exciting in that sense that he swings the ball both ways. And if you look at his trajectory, whenever he swings, he seems to swing it slightly later. There are bowlers, if you look at the trajectory, you can see the swing quite early, but with him, he swings it a little later, and he has that left arm angle. That's the good point about Harshdeep Singh. But the one point that could go against him, whenever I've watched him in the Ranji Trophy, couple of games, and I watched him in county cricket, maybe for Kent, with a older ball, he doesn't have much going for him. I know that he bowls reverse swing, but he won't get reverse swing at Leeds or or Lords, because you don't expect an abrasive surface or an abrasive outfield to get that kind of reverse swing. So you won't expect that. So I think that's the one thing going against Arshdeep Singh. So if India really want to pick Arshdeep Singh, then they have to pigeonhole him as the new ball bowler. I don't think you can pick Arshdeep Singh as a first change bowler. In that case, Siraj has to come in as, I think, first change with Arshdeep Singh as the new ball bowler.
Is he starting for you? Is he starting from the Leeds Test match?
Oh, that's difficult to say, but whatever little I've heard, it seems like they're kind of inclined towards Prasid, but you never know. The last minute they might again think of the left arm angle, because left arm angle is very very tempting. But in my humble opinion, if Arshdeep Singh has to be picked, then he has to be given the new ball. You can't pick him as the first change bowler.
Yes, correct. I think yes, I agree. I will agree with that as well. Uh, Retaining Harshit Rana. One of the comments here, Arnab Basu. I think this is our friend from Twitter.
Yes.
Retaining Harshit Rana. What's your thoughts on that? And I will add that. What are your thoughts that maybe Anshul Kumbo should have got he had the condition. I would have not asked this question if it was Australia, but England maybe, sir.
Yeah.
Harshit Rana.
Yes, Anshul Kamboj bowls a little bit of verbal as well. So if you look at it from that perspective, it could have been useful as a good line bowler, and is someone who makes the batter play from ball one. Gambhir has something. Gambhir has seen something in Harshit Rana, I believe. That is why he keeps him. Harshit Rana has long-term potential. There's no doubt about that. Unlike what many believe, uh, see someone who gets a little bit of bounce. People talk about pace, but it's that bounce factor that I think has caught the eye of the Indian selectors. But the problem with Harshit Rana is not bowl the heavy ball. Even the Lions was India game, he was not bowling that heavy ball. Even the IPL, he was not bowling the heavy ball. It was a lot of floaty stuff, a lot of cutters he was trying, a lot of variations he was trying. So from that perspective, I would have definitely gone for Anshul Kamboj, but that is the management's decision. Having said that, have patience with him. Maybe in a couple of years' time, he could turn out to be a good bowler. But at present, he's kind of all over the shop. Doesn't understand what to do when, what ball to bowl at a particular moment. For example, he might beat the bat once. Next ball could be short and wide, and it could be hit for a boundary. I think that is the present. That's the present. What can I say? A situation with Harshit Rana.
Yeah, I think that's a very much on the same line as well for me. I think Harshit Rana, I think Gambhir is looking at something which we can't see or what I think. But India A appearance, Anshul Kamboj did really well for India A, and he looked like that kind of bowler. And even in Duleep Trophy, he was a high wicket taker, if I remember. So it was quite okay. He
He's a
didn't
good
got
line bowler.
that in.
You see a little bit of grass, he will just hit the same spot, and
Yeah,
good line bowler and gets it to wobble a bit. Good seam bowler.
yeah. Yeah, I think it was a good time to introduce him in this England series, but maybe see, let's see. Unfortunately, hopefully there's no injury, or if it has happened, I think Anshul Kamboj should come in here. Before we go to the all-rounders discussion, sir, the big man Jasprit Bumrah, he's saying he will play three Test matches. Okay, let. Is he saying did he confirm it that he will play three Test matches? I
Uh,
don't.
that's what
Uh,
that's what everyone is saying. Administrators are also saying, but who knows? It could be double bluff. The England players also might be thinking only three Test matches. I think finally depends on uh, how Bumrah responds to workload Test match by Test match. See, for
yeah,
example, if India, okay, I'm talking in an imaginary sense. I'm not saying India will go and win the first Test, but if India win the first Test quite easily, Bumrah bowls only maybe 20 to 30 overs in total, 35 overs in total. That's two innings or two innings. Then you might think I can play the second Test. Then who knows? You might go and play four Test matches if the workload is less. But if the inexperienced bowlers are flopping, somewhere India get into a jam where they pick both Nitish Reddy, where they pick Nitish Reddy at number 8 in some test match, and he ends up bowling only 7 8 overs, and again Bumrah has to bowl a lot more overs. Then I think it will be only 3 test matches for him. I think the most you can expect with Bumrah is 4. Most likely it will be 3. I don't see him playing all 5 for sure.
Are you thinking about the alternate test matches, or you have any venue in your mind?
I think alternate test matches. As I noted, the first test match, for example, if India go and win it very easily, and I'm not saying India will do that, but if Bumrah has a slightly less workload, then Indian think tank might be tempted to go for a juggler, and play him in the second test as well. Because if, for example, if India go 2-0 up, obviously I'm thinking it in a fantasy land, but still, if India might think on those lines if something like that happens after the first test.
Yeah, there is a comment here about venue only. Which venue will suit Akash Deep more? It's a very interesting question. Would you like to shed light on it?
Or rather, the better question would be what can Akashdeep do to succeed in English conditions? Because
Okay.
one thing you saw in Australia was that he tended to bowl a little shorter. People used to say he beats the bat a lot, but his general length should be slightly fuller. He can't bowl back of length all the time, good length all the time, because he'll keep hitting the bat. It's a little more skiddy than compared to a couple of other bowlers. So he has to go fuller. So if he goes fuller, if they leave grass in Leeds, he can succeed in Leeds as well. If India really want to pick him, I don't think they will pick him. But if India want to pick him and they leave some 6 grass in Leeds, that's what people are telling. Let's see whether they will leave 6 to 8 grass in Leeds. But if they leave 6 to 8 grass, then he can do well in Leeds as well. And then Lords is a good seaming ground. We saw that and that Australia South Africa test match, you always get that natural variation, even if you don't get that grass covering because of the slope factor. You can nicely use it. Most of the deliveries will come into the right hander, and the odd one to straighten, especially if you have that kind of front on action. So yes, it depends on the kind of grass covering they will leave. If they leave good covering of grass, he might do well in Leeds as well. But again, I will pinpoint the fact that he has to bowl a little bit fuller. He can't just stay on back of length, good length. Then he will end up as a beaten specialist in his lifetime. It doesn't surprise that after 7 test matches, that is only taken 15 wickets. That's because I think he's beaten the bat a lot more often, beaten the bat more often.
I think I'm listening these things for the second time for a second player. Similar kind of player in England who used to beat a lot. That is Mohammad Shami, and we
Mm.
say that his bowling resembles a lot of like Shami, his bowling. So again, similar things. We are telling that okay, just go a bit forward, and I think the main motive should be to make us play. I think because otherwise,
Uh,
from the back of yeah.
He might bowl back off length and go with 20 overs, 50 runs, 1 wicket. But if it turns out to be result oriented deck, like they're saying they will leave 6 of grass, then 20 overs, 50 runs, 1 wicket or 2 wickets for 60 runs won't really help you. You have to look for wickets, even if it means you might end up going for a couple more boundaries, a couple of half volleys come in the way, and this length has to be fuller because it's a little more skiddy. So fuller length will really help him.
Okay, so the last question on this bowling attack, uh, sir, your man, your very own Prasidh Krishna. What are your expectation and anything similar to what you said to
Can you come again because your voice broke?
Okay, what are your expectations from him and anything means whatever you said for Akash Deep, anything similar on the lines for Prasidh Krishna as well because
Not much
you're
because obviously his style of bowling is a little different. His length is always shorter, slightly shorter. So that is fine for him because he gets a little more bounce out of a good length. Do what you did in the IPL. People will come and might come and blast me by saying that's a completely different format. But he actually bowled a lot of test match lengths and got wickets in the IPL. So do something similar. Don't offer width. The problem with Prasid Krishna from the past was he would offer width. He would be hit for a boundary or two, then he would try to overcompensate it and bowl it down the leg side, and again get hit. Suddenly he would have gone for 12 runs in four balls, and everyone would be bashing him. So that is what used to happen with Prasid, and then he would bowl one wicket taking delivery in between. Somewhere I don't know, between the end of the Australian series and the IPL, he seems to have worked very hard on his bowling mechanics. He seems to have got stronger, because I've never seen him bowl this many heavy deliveries or heavy balls in the IPL, because he kept hitting the deck hard, kept hitting the bat hard on impact. In the past, he used to give you maybe 7-8 deliveries of hit the deck bowling, but he was bowling a lot more of that in the IPL. That means he's worked hard on his fitness, he's got stronger, and that's what I'm saying. He seems to have got stronger in the IPL. That's why he's
Yes.
able to play so many matches, and he never really got injured. And he was able to, if you see, hit the deck bowling is always very tough on the body, because you are bending your back a little more, snapping your back a little more. So if you're bowling a lot more of that heavy ball, then you must have got fitter and stronger in those 2 3 months. Something he did in those 2 3 months to work on his fitness, and also worked on his bowling mechanics. Yes, if I praise him now, he might go and do the opposite, go back to his old ways, give width and then bowl one down leg. But if he bowls like he did in the IPL, I think he will have a reasonably good series in England.
Yeah. So I expected a finger
Another
cross
point I
from
want
my.
to add, he can
Yeah.
swing the ball a little bit. A lot of hit the
Yeah.
deck
Yeah.
pace bowlers or seam bowlers. His swing bowling is a little underrated. He can go very full, like he did it to KL Rahul in IPL, and Cameron Bancroft in against Australia, and got the ball to swing and got them out LBW. So that is also there with him.
Yeah. It's not means we should we expect something kind of Kyle Jamieson kind of swing bowling, or just
No, no, no.
basic swing bowling?
Kyle Jamieson, peak Kyle Jamieson, even in the one we saw in the IPL, he's actually a swing bowler. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
because of
yeah.
his height, he gets bounce, but he's not a out and out hit the deck pace bowler. Because of his height, he gets that kind of bounce,
He's a swing
but
bowler,
he's
yes.
a brilliant swing bowler. He swings it both ways.
But sir, one of the very hot debates in Twitter as well nowadays, the all-rounders. See, they're pretty much we know that Gambhir love for two-dimensional, three-dimensional players. So Shardul Thakur is back, obviously, and NKR has done well in the last series with the bat. Let's see how he goes with the ball. Washington Sundar is also there. Jadeja will be there, of course. No doubt on Jadeja, I think. But you can tell whom to go forward, or you have anyone else in your mind, NKR or Shardul. What are the options for the first 11?
If Nitish Reddy has to play, I think he has to play number six. Then it will be fight with Jurel. Jurel perhaps a slightly better technique than him, but Nitish Reddy showed a lot of grit in Australia. Maybe start with him at number six. His bowling, I think, currently is a bonus. He swings it a little bit, but still, I don't think he can give you 15-20 overs. I'm fine with Shardul Thakur at number eight, but depending on his fitness, sitting here, I can't comment on his fitness. It seemed a little bit down on his fitness against the England Lions when he was bowling the 15th or 16th over in the day. It seemed like his pace was coming down during his later spells. But still, this can be useful bowler if he gets it right, and his fitness is good. So depending on his fitness, I will have. If his fitness is good enough, then I will have him at number eight, because it seems like they will leave some grass in Leeds. So I'm not sure he can go with two spinners if they leave so much grass.
Uh, I think leaving grass is one of the reasons, because the temperature is not that low this time. It's a dry season.
Yeah, but
And
six. But what I heard, because I'm not there, so I can't tell you the exact truth. But what I heard is that they're leaving 6 mm grass to around 8 mm grass. If they leave, then it is considerable grass, even if it is slightly on the drier side. Then it will definitely do enough, because that's a good covering of grass for the
yes.
seamers.
No, I saw one of your comment, Washington Sundar, at this period of time Do you actually see him anywhere getting a chance anywhere in this tour?
With Gambhir around, he might get a chance. He's an all-rounder, he will think. So, see, if Washington Sundar has to play, then I think he has to bowl a lot more overs. Then the captain should have confidence in him. First of all, whether he's good enough to bowl a lot of overs in Sena Nations is secondary. But the first point is, if I were Gambhir, if I have to pick Washington Sundar, then I would have to go to Mr. Shuman Gill and ask, do you have confidence in Washington Sundar that he can bowl at least 15 overs, 15 overs in a day? If he doesn't believe that he can bowl 15 overs in England in a day, then at least 15 overs, then he shouldn't play in the 11, because at number 8 you can't have someone who will only bowl a few overs. If Washington Sundar has to play, then it has to be in top 6, but there is no spot available for him in top 6, I believe, because then Jurel, I think I definitely take Jurel if you don't want Nitesh Reddy, because he's technically a good player.
Some good headaches there, but so because Karun Nair is also there, so mm,
One second.
people will jump into the selection straight away if something goes wrong. If Karun there, then Turel will be there. If Turel is selected, then Karun will be not. So yeah,
Okay,
that's I think
just in phone call, Airtel.
yeah. I think we can wrap up now. We have
Yes,
almost
yes,
covered everything.
yes, yes. That's your wish. Okay.
I think yes, yes. We have I think covered everything according to the squad.
Yes.
One I think you said only best playing 11. I think okay, you can say your best playing 11 and any actor from both the squad, both England and India. You can tell
Any,
so
any,
that
any,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
any voice break. Your voice was breaking. That's why.
You can choose your best 11 and then you can go with the X factor from both the side. One factor,
I
which
think I
can be maybe a
already
surprise
said,
package as well.
basically said what would be my 11, because I picked a number 3 as well, and said who could bat at 6. And I'm
Yeah.
fine with Shardul unless his fitness is not good enough. So, yes, X Factor, as I said, noted a few minutes ago from England, if he gets it right, Bryden Cars could surprise a few people. But again, he has to bowl like what I saw in New Zealand. That I will add that, because he was bowling only 83, 84 miles per hour against West Indies. That is not the bowler that I saw against New Zealand in the Test series. From the Indian team, the Indian team. Expect that a lot of players are known how they will play. So not very sure. So picking one, uh, if I really have to pick one, I don't think he might play in the test match. I'm thinking of someone like a surprise package could be Dhruv Jurel. Though I don't know whether he's a surprise package if he goes and scores runs, because he has a good technique. So
Yeah.
he could be someone who might surprise a few people and score runs whenever he gets a chance, because he's technically good versus movement.
Yeah, and from my side also, I want to say that surprise package, very much similar to yours. That is Bryden Carse, especially in this test match. A Durham man, very strong mentally as well, temperamentally, and always there to give everything. So I guess he will be there. Then I think somewhere around Sam Cook might come in and bowl a very memorable spell, which Indian fans will never forget. That kind of a day also I am looking at in this tour. From Indian point of view, I will go with the X Factor because everybody knows about everyone. So I'm not going with the surprise package. But X Factor, I think KL Rahul will be very important for this team uh, at the top of the order. I have expectations from Jaiswal as well, but let's keep it stay down by side because it's his first tour and whatever he gets, it will be it will be better for him and team from here, in my opinion. Baki, I very much fall in the same boat like Sir, and I think we have covered everything. Any final thought, Sir?
No, you have to give the final. You have to give the final answer or the final word.
No, the
Final whistle.
final, yeah, final
Final
words
whistle.
are, yeah,
Final
final
whistle.
word, yeah, final word is what is your score line? Series
Okay,
score
that's
line.
difficult to answer. But this is not a ruthless England test side, so expect at least one victory. I don't know whether India will win more than one, but at least one victory I expect because it's not a ruthless test side.
So you are saying 4-1?
Yeah, at least one I said. It could be two as well, but at least one I am expecting.
Okay. So I'm also going with 3-2, but the last test match will be won by India. So the series will be gone by the last test match, in my opinion. Or 3-1, it can be. A draw in the between is also a possibility, considering the kind of weather we see in England. So yeah, thank you, sir. Very much thankful for coming at such a short period, for always enlightening us with such insights and your views on cricket. We love it. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for the invite.
And yeah, thanks everyone for joining, and do join. We have streams coming up for under 19 team as well, and huge domestic seasons coming as well. Dulip Trophy starting from August. So if anyone has not subscribed the channel, please subscribe, and see you soon again. Thank you.